How much is a US entry waiver? In this video, I'm going to give you a complete breakdown of the cost to get a US entry waiver. I'm Dan Joffe. I'm a dedicated US entry waiver lawyer. If you want professional legal help to ensure your US entry waiver application is approved, then reach out to connect with me. I've attached a link to schedule a free confidential call in the video description. Let's get started. For context, this video covers the complete breakdown of costs for a US entry waiver in cases of criminal inadmissibility. I'm referring to Form I-192, which is the application for advance permission to enter as non-immigrant. Before I get into the specifics about costs, there are three important things you need to know about fees. First, the fees you pay are not refundable, and there are three situations which will result in the loss of your fees. First, if the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, referred to as the CBP, denies your U.S. waiver application. Second, if you withdraw your request for an already submitted U.S. waiver application. And third, if you fail to show up at a CBP port of entry for your biometric appointment within 45 days of your waiver application and payment. Second thing you need to know about fees is that you cannot pay extra to speed up the U.S. waiver process. The CBP and the Admissibility Review Office process waiver applications in the order they're received, and no one can influence their timelines. So paying more will not speed up the process or will guarantee faster results. Bottom line is you should avoid any service claiming to offer expedited US entry waiver processing. And third, it's important to view your fees and the work required for a successful application as an investment in your future. A successful US waiver paves the way for worry-free travel to the United States. So it's crucial to ensure that your Form I-192 application is meticulously prepared and positions your situation in the best possible light to get approved by the CBP. Now, let's get into the details of how much it costs to get a US entry waiver. There are four buckets of costs that you need to be aware of. Cost bucket number one is the fee paid to the US government to process your Form I-192 waiver application. This fee is $585 US paid to the US Customs and Border Protection. There are two opportunities to pay this fee. First, if you are applying by eSafe, you can make the payment online. And second, if you are submitting your application in person at a port of entry, you can make the payment at the POE. Cost bucket number two is the fee paid to get your fingerprints. This fee ranges between $50 to $100. Your I-192 application requires an original criminal record from the RCMP, which requires you to get your fingerprints taken. You can go either to a police agency, the RCMP, or a private fingerprinted service accredited by the RCMP. The difference between going to a private service versus going to the police or the RCMP is generally cost and time. Private fingerprinted services, while more expensive, are faster and more convenient. Cost bucket number three is the cost to get your court records. The US waiver application requires you to get official court records from each court where you were convicted. Make sure that your court results have an original seal or stamp on it. And the cost for these court records varies. Some courts will provide them free, while others will charge you on a per conviction basis along with postage. Contact each court to find out the specifics. Cost bucket number four is a category I call case-specific costs. These are costs that arise based on your specific case. For example, if you have a drug-related charge, you need to get a drug test and submit the results as part of your Form I-192 application. In some cases, you may need to submit an affidavit which will be prepared and notarized. So that's your comprehensive guide to the cost of a US entry waiver. Remember, a US entry waiver is an investment in your future and you need to get it right. If you want the peace of mind knowing that your US entry waiver application is prepared with absolutely the best chance of success, then reach out to schedule a free confidential phone call. I've included a link in the description of this video.